When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything!
Blog Talk Radio.
Y'all can talk. It sounds terrible over here. Go listen to it.
gentlemen, this is your host, Yvonne Mason. This is my show, Off the Chain. Those of you who have followed me since the beginning of the show know that we have done 30 shows, and no show is the same. And as with all things me, and as the name of the show tells you, sometimes and most times we do get off the chain. Tonight we have a 2-hour show with my guest, Kenny Wilson. That was his song, Mother Nature. We will be talking about it in a little bit later, but first I want to tell you a few things. One thing is my book, Justice for Cindy, was released 3 days ago. It is doing very well. Next Tuesday, I will be doing the launch here on Off the Chain. Today, I had an audio book released. It was called When Fates Collide, Mardi Gras Bound, so go check that out. Things have been dancing around pretty good for me, and it's all because of this show and my listeners and all you wonderful people out there. But tonight, my guest, Kenny Wilson, musician, songwriter, just an all-around great guy. I've known this guy for, God, at least 50 years. Because he and I both grew up in the small town of East Point, Georgia, way before God. And he attended the same elementary school I did, as well as the same high school. Married my sister's best friend. Now, that tells you how far back we go. But Kenny's experience in music goes way, way back. He started singing when he was about 6 years old. Now, this I really want to know about. And then when he was about 12, he decided, well, if I can sing, I can play the guitar. So he learned to play the guitar. And he went even a step further, because we grew up in an era where we weren't coddled as children. By the time we were 12 or 13 years old, we were practically grown. So he decided at 12 or 13 he'd just form his own boy band, which he did. He's been in many, many bands. In 64, 65, he played with Alley-Oop and the Cavemen. Then he got tired of them in 67, 68, went to play with Evolution. Then around 69, he played in Statutory Grape, not rape, but grape with a G. And he went freelance for a few years, got tired of that. So in the 80s, he started playing with a band called Dagger. Late 80s, he started playing with a band called Reunion. Got tired of that, went solo again. 1999, 2001, he played with Turner and Wilson. Then he played with the band called the Goat Farm Bandits. Got to hear more about that one. Now, apparently, he is freelancing. But before all that, he had the honor and the privilege of playing with his father, Ernest J. Wilson, through the years. Now, there is no greater honor than to be able to appear on stage with one's parent, or to do the same thing that one's parent does. So let's delve into my friend, Kenny Wilson. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hey, Yvonne. How are you doing?
I'm good. You're sitting over there in a little town in Alabama, aren't you?
No, I came up to Carrollton to my daughter's house.
Oh, you did?
I don't have Wi-Fi at my house, so I figured I'd come up here, and that way I would be at Wi-Fi and everything would be a good connection. And
well, how far is your daughter from you normally? How long does it take you to get from Alabama over?
It takes me the better part of an hour, but, you know, you got to come see your kids.
There you go. Well, speaking of kids, let's talk about you as a kid. Tell me about this wonderful, wonderful journey. What got you here?
Well, the biggest thing is my dad, he always played, and my mom's family, the Whaleys, they always sang. Every Sunday was a sing-a-thon over at Grandma and Grandpa Whaley's house on Sunday evening, afternoon, evening, on the front porch. And that's where I learned to sing. That's when I started singing at 6 years old. they stood a couple of us up in the middle of them and said, "Y'all sing too." And so we sang. And one of my uncles, which was a in-law married to one of my aunts, he was sitting there next to me. And when we got through singing, he said, "Y'all know this boy right here can sing?" And my aunts and my blood kin had always told me I could sing, but they're gonna tell you that. But when I had somebody that really even that fond of me say that I could sing, it kind of set something off in me, I guess. And I ain't been afraid to sing since then. I'll sing anywhere.
Well, when y'all sat on that front porch, now, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand, when Kenny and I grew up, unlike today, the front porch was a gathering place for family. That's family and friends. When you went to visit, that's where you sat. That's where you talked. That's where you did things as families and friends. What kind of song?
Problems,
whatever it was, you did it on the front porch.
Yeah.
Waved at the cars as they went by, or the people that walked down the street.
Yeah, Mama Whaley always had a big spread on Sunday, so everybody came to eat at Mama Whaley's house on Sunday, and that's what happened afterwards. Everybody'd go out on the porch to relax, and they'd break out a couple of guitars, and everybody'd go to singing.
What kind of songs did y'all sing? Did you sing country? Did you sing gospel? Was it a combination?
Anything anybody started. They love, of course, they love country, and they love gospel, and just anything. And rock and roll, Elvis was coming out when I was little. Johnny Cash, all that stuff. My uncle, who was he wasn't the youngest. He was the next to the youngest of the Whaley kids. I think there were 7 girls and 2 boys. The one boy was the oldest, and then I think Uncle Jim was the next to the youngest. He was a Johnny Cash fan, and he could sound just like him, play just like him, all that stuff, So we did a heap of Johnny Cash. But, just a bunch of stuff like that,
Well,
it was always something good.
What led you to decide to pick up the guitar? Was it a natural progression?
Well, like I said, my dad, he started really getting interested in playing and taking lessons when I guess I was, 9, 10 years old. And he took me to take lessons. I think I was 11. And I don't know, I was just too lazy to do that, I guess. The guy, he showed me some songs to work on, like Red River Valley or something like that, some little something to pick out on the guitar and learn to read music. And I'd do it by the sheet music when he was showing me, as he showed me, but he'd say, take these 2 songs home and practice them and come back next week and let's see how you do. Well, I took them home, and I learned them by ear. I didn't read the music, and I came back in, and he said, well, sit down and show me what you've done, So I sat there and played them. And he said, you played that pretty well, but you didn't read that. He said, you learned that by ear, didn't you? I said, yes, sir, I did. And it wasn't much after that. I said, well, this ain't working, I'm just not the type, And I pretty much learned everything by ear. Kind of made Daddy mad, but, he was one way and I was another.
When did you play with your father? When did you start playing with your father?
After I got where I could play, he started getting me to play stuff with him. I played bass for him for a lot of stuff. And, then later on, I think I was 17 when I started actually playing what they call lead guitar, which I wasn't really doing a good job of playing lead guitar. I was just playing guitar. And when I was 17, he had some gigs and stuff, and we kind of put a band together. It was me and Bobby Mathis, the bass player that was with what was the team? I forgot the name of my own band. He was with Evolution and Statutory Grape, which, believe me, I didn't pick none of these names. These band names. Well, I think I might have picked that first one when I was 12 or 13 years old. Alley-oop and the Cavemen.
Yep.
I might have came up with that one, but that's the last. After that, I said I can't pick band names, so I just let everybody else pick them and let them have the embarrassment, you know. But anyway, I played with Dad all through life, off and on. Whenever he needed me, whenever I needed him, you know.
Well, tell me about this band you started at 12, 13 years old. I find that very intriguing.
That was me, David Gorham. You know David.
I know David.
Giggy's brother. He was
yep.
one step up above Giggy. Me and him and my cousin Pat Whaley, who was in a car wreck, I guess, when he was maybe 20, and ended up, you know, passing away from that. And then Warren, oh goodness, Burnett.
I know Warren too.
Yeah, Warren was the bass player for that band, and we were. I think I was 12. I thought I was 13, and they were. I think all of them were 12. And we did a couple of gigs for, you know, girls or some of the kids, you know, in school, and have a party, and we'd play for that, you know, charge them a few dollars, and their parents would always be amazed that we could actually play a few songs and get through them. And we thought we were doing something, you know, which we were. We were having fun, and we were making people have fun. And to me, that's what it's always been about. It's what it always will be about. So,
well, the thing is, parents have a tendency to sometimes stifle their children's dreams. And what this tells me is you were encouraged, even at your young age. Wouldn't have done them any good.
Yeah, I was highly unstifled, I guess you could say.
They would have, it would have been a bad day if they had tried to stifle you.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have been a bad day, but it just wouldn't have never happened.
Well, let's back up a little bit. The song we played at the beginning of the show, Mother Nature. Tell me about that song. What inspired that song?
That's kind of funny. I'll tell you the whole story. We had the band, the Goat Farm Bandits, going. I had started writing this song, and I had it all done but one verse. I needed one more verse, and I sat down one day. We were practicing. It was on, rehearsing on a Thursday night. I can't remember the dates right now, but we were going to rehearse that night. So I sat down before rehearsal, before I left to go, to try to finish that song that I'd been trying to get done, which ended up being, by the way, okay. It'll be the last song you play. Anyway, so I sat down thinking about it, and I was sitting there with my guitar in my hand, just fumbling, and I started doing that riff, you know, that goes all the way through the song, Mother Nature. And next thing you know, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, that song was wrote.
Wow.
And I don't know where it came from. And I took it to rehearsal. I said, well, I'll take that one to rehearsal and do the next one next week, you know, or whatever. So, well, anyway, I took it to rehearsal, and I played through the first verse and chorus, and then they jumped right on it. It was a song. It was done. It was a song then. Well, a friend of mine was over there. They came by, just dropped in to listen to us rehearse, and he heard us work that song up, and he was talking about how good it was. Well, I believe it was the following Tuesday morning. He called me at about 8 o'clock. I think I've got my timeline right. And he said, you know, the song talks about, hey, Mother Nature, I guess we really pissed you off when you go shiver and shake us off and all that. And he said, did you feel that earthquake this morning? I said, no. I said, I slept through it, I guess. He said, there was an earthquake in Fort Payne, near Fort Payne, Alabama, that was felt all the way down here. He said, the first thing I thought of when I woke up and felt it was that song. So that just struck me, real funny. But I did end up, of course, finishing okay, but I think it might have been months or maybe a year later before I finally finished that song, the song I was actually trying to write when I wrote it. It just came to me, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I feel pretty sure that on some level we have pissed off Mother Nature really, really bad because we're the only creatures that destroys our environment.
Yep. I don't want to hate. Well, I do want to use this term. We're the only ones that, excuse my language, shit in our own nest. That
is true. You are absolutely right. We are. Because this is why it's called off the chain, Kenny. You can say anything you want to. Nobody gets judged. Nobody gets condemned. That's why this show is so popular. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are just joining us, my guest tonight is musician and songwriter Kenny Wilson. He and I have known each other for at least 50 years, if not longer. This is Off the Chain. I am your host, Yvonne Mason, and we're talking about his song, Mother Nature. And in this song, which was the song at the beginning of the show, he talks about how we must have really pissed off Mother Nature. And we have, because we are the only creature that destroys our environment. We abuse it, we misuse it, we waste it, and we don't give anything back to it. Am I correct, Kenny?
Yep, and the thing about it is all of it. It's not, that's why I can't preach about it, because I do it too, I look around thinking about all the plastic. I've got plastic everywhere. I use plastic trash bags. I use plastic grocery bags. I'm trying to figure out a way to get around all that, but doggone, the way we've come, the trail that we've gone down, it's hard to live the lives we live without plastic.
And sadly, that's our footprint for the next generation. Is what. Yeah. Your grandparents and my grandparents and our parents knew how to recycle, because everything was recycled. Scraps were either fed to the pigs or put in the compost. Nothing was wasted. My grandmother used paper sacks to design clothes for my mother and my aunt, so the paper bags were reused over and over again. But we have become a throwaway society. We throw away relationships, we throw away our children, we throw away our craft, we waste our environment. That's so sad.
Yeah, it is. It's sad, but I don't know what the answer is. I can't. I can't really speak to something if I can't give answers. But I know that there's people out there that do know what the answers are, and if we could actually pick out the ones we need to listen to, all this could be straightened out. I don't know who it is. I don't know. There's so many people doing stuff for self-gain. You don't know who's doing what for what.
That is
there
true.
There is a way to recycle all this plastic. And if we would all do it, and they would do it in a way that wasn't just a way for them to make money, then things would
melt it down and do something else with it. Build something with it.
Yeah, do something. There's a way to do something with it besides just letting it float around in the ocean and turn into plastic particles that all the fish are breathing.
And the turtles get trapped in. That is so true.
I'm fussing, and I'm fussing about something that, like I said, I don't have answers to, so I really don't know.
But whether or not we have answers,
I just know that there are people that could do something about this. If there were folks that would get their minds off their money and their money off their minds, then I believe a lot of changes, good changes, would take place.
I agree with
you.
you.
It's got to step up to do that. But
I agree with you.
They're out there somewhere.
Well, on another note, let me ask you this question. We're going to change gears here a minute. You and I have been around for a minute. You and I were born in an era where jazz big bands were being replaced with rock and roll, and country and western, as our parents knew it, which was bluegrass, was turning into country and western. Now, with that backdrop, how has the music changed in the last 50 years? Has it changed for the better? Has it changed for the worse? Or is it just different?
Well, there's always something that's changed for the better. I mean, it's out there. It's not just stop progressive, but it kind of, I don't know, it kind of stalled out at times as far as, you know, being creative. And you get a lot of electronic stuff in there that lends itself to being used by people that actually don't really have talent. I mean, I ain't going to name anybody, but there are people out there that are making a lot of money off of the music world that have little or no talent at all, and that's the only bad thing I've seen about the electronic stuff. Heck, I wish we'd have had all this stuff when I was 12 years old and started learning how to play. Because if I want to learn a song, I just go on the internet, find it, get the words, get the chords, and, you know, there it is. Used to, we'd sit down at our little turntable with maybe a 45 record. I remember many times sitting there with a Beatles song or whatever, sitting there at the record player, picking the needle up, putting it down, learning the part, you know, pick up the needle, learn the part, try to put it back down in the same place if I needed to hear it again. And you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'd end up scratching my 45s and new records of that right off the first day, trying to learn the songs, you know. And now you just punch a button and there it is, you know. I can't imagine why everybody's not a star now, you know.
But I don't. Sadly, I think a lot of people just don't have the tenacity.
Yeah. Well, it's about, you know, not whether you want to do it or not. And I got to say, I was really, really fortunate because of my dad. You know, when I started, by the time I started playing guitar, he already had professional equipment. I mean, he had great guitars, amps, had a 4-piece organ. So, you know, I was just in a young musician's playland, you know. So I had a big advantage over lots of folks that were actually more talented than me. That had been, if they had been in my place, they'd probably done a lot more with it, I think. You know, I can think of some folks.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you like doing freelance better than being with bands, or do you like being with bands better than freelance?
Oh, I enjoy playing with a band better than anything. I mean, I enjoy just playing, period. But as far as playing out, recording, stuff like that, I just love playing with a band. I love working with a band. And I want to say something. I want to go back to where you introduced me and all. You kind of said got tired. You kind of said he got tired of that each time, you know. I never got tired. I never got tired of any of it. I'd have stayed with whatever band. If Elliot and the Cavemen hadn't broke up, I'd still be with them. But, you know, they just break up. People, you know, all of us have had jobs we've had to do after we got grown. And we were all in school. You know, we couldn't just do anything. Well, for instance, me and Larry Hall and, again, Bobby Mathis had that band Statutory Grape.
See, I knew both of those guys, too.
Yeah.
We all went to school together.
Yeah. Well, Larry's another one you could do a show about. But,
Well, you need to hook me up with him.
That's between you and him. But
you need to hook me up with him.
Oh, I will. All you got to do is send him a Facebook request. I mean, a friend request. He'll answer it. Then you talk to him.
I'll do that. But, I ain't shy. I ain't scared.
Anyway, I've got a pretty good story about that Statutory Grape thing, but how close are we to doing a song?
You tell your story, and then we'll go to a song.
Tell you what, won't you go to a song, and then we'll talk about that, and then I'll tell that story.
All right. Well, I'm going to play I Shall Be Released. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kenny Wilson, and I Shall Be Released, and we're going to discuss this song after it gets through playing, so hold on. ladies and gentlemen, that was I Shall Be Released by my guest tonight, musician and songwriter, Kenny Wilson. Okay, Kenny, tell me about that song.
Okay, as most people know, it was written by Bob Dylan, and there's been I don't know how many covers done of it, and I believe every one I've ever heard I've liked, no matter who did it. And I've just always liked that song. I've always loved it. I've fooled around with it for years and years, and I always wanted to try to, work it into a band, and, just never did have the right situation. This Amplitude app that I found out about last year and got on my phone allows me to do pretty much anything I want to because, I don't have to be in a certain band because I can, I play each part one at a time. That's what I did on that song. I used the drum machine off of Amplitude. It's a loop drummer, and I put together a drum track. And then I played the guitar, and then I sang the song, then I played lead to it. And I went and borrowed, I didn't have a bass. So I borrowed a bass from a friend of mine, and his good bass was being used by, he'd already had it loaned out to somebody, and all he had was it's called a first act bass. They sell them at Kmart. It's a Kmart bass. And I borrowed it, and I took it home that night, and I put that bass track on that song. And, no, I'm sorry, I just got mixed up. Darren Brown did the bass on that one. I didn't do the bass on that one. It's the other songs that I did the bass on. Thrill Is Gone and On Your Way Down. But anyway, so I just put all the tracks together, and then I went and got Darren. Yeah, that was the one I ended up getting Darren. I went and got Darren to put the bass on it and put it all together and mixed it down as best I could with this app. It's not a professional thing, but it sounds good enough that I don't mind letting people hear it,
Well, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah, I love that song. The kind of, I don't know if I even do it in any key that anybody else does it in. I think Dylan does it in E, I think. And I believe that's what, the band, that used to be his band, I kind of, the last time I really started working on it to where I got it to this point was after hearing it on The Last Waltz. The band did a video. Have you ever seen that video? Anybody that hadn't seen that video, they need to watch it because they're missing something. But it's called The Last Waltz, and it's the band, and it was supposed to be their last. But anyway, that's kind of one of the last spurs that spurred me onto that song. But we were working up another version of that song when we were planning on trying to do this thing live with live music. And I had the girls singing back up, and I wish I'd have had them replace those backup parts, but the backup parts, she's here, there, both of them are me. It's my voice. But I wish I had put their voices in it, and I just didn't get time to do it. We recorded the other songs that we were working on actually just the other day. And I just didn't get around to having them change the harmony on that. And it had parts on it, so I just let it go,
Well, you did an excellent job.
It.
Well, and again, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Kenny, is if you really have a passion and you really have a dream and a desire to excel at that passion, you find a way to make it work for you.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And with the technology
and
with the technology we have today, there's no excuse not to make that dream come true.
That's right. I don't have to, like I said, I'd much rather play with other people, especially Darren and Lauren. I just love playing with them. Sometimes we just jam. That's how I met them. They were just jamming with the drummer that was actually the drummer in Goat Farm Bandits, and he got me to come over there, and they were just getting together on Monday nights, and they wouldn't even play a song that was already a song. They'd just start something and end up wherever it ended up. And fell into that, and then I got them to do a couple of songs that I sang, and then next thing you know, we're doing cover songs and a bunch of our originals, and they're saying, well, let's play out, So we started playing out, but anyway, that amplitude thing just gave me a way to, keep recording stuff. I'm hoping that I can take some of these tracks and maybe take them to a pro and clean some of them up. Maybe, I don't know. It may be beyond that. If it is, I'll just do something else. But
well, now there is
I just wanted to get everything recorded before it's too late,
I understand, because it's like I say at the end of every show, when we're at the end of our life, we can't say shoulda, woulda, coulda, because it's too late then.
That's right. That's it. Yep.
So we have to
ain't
do it
coming
now.
Back.
No.
It ain't coming back.
No, we're not.
But I'm
now,
just
you were
glad that I've still got my memory to remember all this stuff, because that's what amazes me. The fact that I can actually think back and remember a lot of the things that some of my friends, they just like, what? When did that happen? Sometimes it gets so bad that I think, well, maybe I'm remembering it wrong, or maybe I'm crazy, and I think, no. And then later on, somebody else will mention it, and then I'll realize, yeah, I was right. It really did happen that way.
Well, you were going to tell a story before we played the song.
Yeah.
Tell me that story.
This is a neat little story. Like I said, me and Larry Hall and Bobby Mathis were playing together. I know nobody out there will know this, but you remember on Cleveland Avenue across from, I believe it was the Stop and Go or the 7-Eleven there at Block Street?
Know exactly where it is.
Well, do you know where Larry lived?
Yes.
He lived in that big stone house across the street.
Yep.
Well, we were rehearsing in his living room there. Well, I don't know. I think we had already played one gig, and we had a gig coming up at the high school. It might have been the homecoming dance or a Valentine thing. It was some special kind of dance, one of the special dances we had at Russell. And that's another thing we were privileged with, to have stuff like that, But anyway, so we were working on that show, and we finished the song, and we heard somebody knock on the door. And we opened the door, and there was these three black guys. And they said, man, we heard y'all over there across the street at the 7-Eleven or whatever. What was that? Was it Stop and Go or 7-Eleven?
I believe it was 7-Eleven.
Well, anyway, he said, we were over there at the 7-Eleven and heard y'all. We just had to come over here and talk to you. We said, well, come on in, and they come in, and what it was, they were a singing group, a three-piece singing group. And I don't remember what they called themselves, and I don't remember all of his name except for one guy's name. And he was the lead singer. His name was Tony Taylor. And these guys were damn up. They came in, and I forgot what song it was. We kept talking until we figured out a song that they could sing on. And I think the first song we did, they sang backup with me on it.
Wow.
I was always doing the singer, so that was like amazing. I mean, they were a few years older than us, but they were still young guys. And you could tell they knew what they were doing, with their singing, because they were right on. I mean, there was no bobbles, nothing, It just was right. And then Tony, they had a song that we were, I think it was Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time? I think that's the first song we did with them. And we learned it right quick and did a rough version of it so they could sing it to show us how, they did. And it was amazing. I mean, they just blew it away. And even though we were just playing it as best we could, and they said they liked the way we did it, so we talked about it and said, well, let's do a rehearsal. Y'all give us some songs to learn. And we told them right up front that we had that gig at Russell. And we weren't going to have time to work them in for it.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, it probably, I don't know. I wish we'd have had time to work them in and bring them 3 guys to Russell High School at that time, and stand them up on that stage with us and sing, because that it was an all-white school. I think we had. Yeah, we had. I think Milo Jeter and his sisters, and maybe a cousin had came to Russell when the integration started, but it wasn't. It wasn't real integrated.
There wasn't a lot there, no.
Yeah, I've thought back on that a lot of times, and I wish that we had just went on and worked that up, and at least had them come in for a set and do a set with them, because that would have been totally amazing. That would have, I don't know, that'd be a heck of a memory.
Yeah, it would have, but just the memory of y'all jamming in the living room, that's something that you will always have, and something those guys will always have, because, again, that was at a time that you just didn't do that.
Yeah. Well, see, these guys, they had a what do you call it, a manager, agent, that was telling them, I don't know if he was shooting straight with them or what. Maybe he was, He was telling them all these things he was planning on doing with them, and he had them booked and with this and that, and they said, did we mind if they had him come over there to listen to us? And we said, no, it'd be all right with us, And so after we did another rehearsal. I think they called him that night, or I don't know. They had him planning to come, I guess, that second time, and he came over and he was in a big Cadillac. I mean, he looked like who was that promoter? Don King, is that his name? Yeah. He looked like him a lot. He looked a whole lot like him. He had a big, nice automobile and had all the bling, had the fancy suits. You could tell he was probably the real deal. And he come in there talking to us, and he said he liked us and all, and he liked the idea of us, being their band, the white guys and the black guys. Really the only thing that was going on like that was maybe Sly and the Family Stone and some other ones, as far as an integrated band.
Right.
And so we were all for it, me and Larry. Talking about, he had them booked with, I can't remember the act. It was a fairly big act. I think it was, I don't know. I can't remember. He said he had that whoever that was doing a tour of Africa, and he had them booked to go on that tour in Africa. Well, our family wasn't going to let us go to Africa.
I would think not.
We actually said something. I said something to my folks, and they all said something to their folks, and we all got the same answer. Is you crazy? That was the answer we got. So
well,
we still did for them.
I'm gonna change gears here just a little bit, because we've got some more songs I want to play, and I'm going to play this one out of the lineup because I don't want this song to get away from us. I don't want time to get away from us. And in this song, your granddaughter sings lead.
Yep.
And her name is Ashley,
I'm
right?
so proud. Ashley, Ashlyn.
Well,
Ashley Lee Walter.
Her name, this child, she is on Facebook. I don't know how old she is, so to me she's a child, but she has the voice of an angel. The song is called Blue Bayou by Crystal Gale. And
well, it's actually we kind of what is wrong with me? What's her name, Ashley? The girl that you listen to. Linda Ronstadt.
She's right. It's by Linda. I get my artist screwed up too. I'm old. But anyway.
I think Crystal probably did it too.
Well, see, that's what happens with live radio. This song has been around for a long, long time. My children grew up on this song. And it is haunting. It is beautiful. It is heart-rendering. And when I heard this song for the first time today, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't stop listening. So I'm going to play it, and then we're going to talk about it. Blue Bayou. Kenny Wilson is playing the lead, and his granddaughter Ashlyn is singing the song. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Blue Bayou, and it was sung by my guest, Kenny Wilson's granddaughter, Ashlyn. And if that rendition of Blue Bayou does not give you chill bumps, then let me tell you what, you ain't human. That is one of the most beautiful renditions of that song that I have ever heard besides the original artist. So, Kenny, your granddaughter is absolutely fabulous.
Yep, she sure is. That's for true. I don't know. I've tried to get my daughter and her to sing with me for a long time, and actually would come to the piano when I was at the house, and she'd sing, along with the piano. I never could really. We never did really get together and do anything till now, and it's been boy. God,
well,
when she did that song, I listened to it, and that last note, she hits that note and she holds on to it, and it's a perfect flow. I get chill bumps every time.
It gave me chill bumps. When I heard it this afternoon for the first time, I went, what, did Linda Ronstadt show up for my show? Because she has the same type of voice and the same type of cadence and the same type of range.
Yeah, the range.
It's amazing that this.
There ain't a lot of. I couldn't do that song. I've always wished I could do it Roy Orbison style, but I just don't have. I don't quite have that range. But Ashlyn, she does it with ease. She's gonna be doing more. There'll be more.
Good, because I want to interview her too, because this girl can go places. My recommendation would be for y'all to make a video and let's put it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure out how to do that and get the stuff to do it with. I will. And it's coming. It's coming quick. Because
she is just, God love her. She has got a voice of an angel.
Yeah, I've got to get her some songs wrote and help get her
absolutely.
Ladies
and gentlemen,
this is all. You ain't heard her yet.
No, I haven't.
She's going to be doing the solo for too long. We're going to get up a song for her to do and put it on the internet somewhere. She's got an amazing voice.
We'll have to interview her too.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we'll all three do one.
This is Off the Chain. I'm your host, Yvonne Mason, and the song that I just played for y'all is a cover of Blue Bayou by my guest, Kenny Wilson's granddaughter, Ashlyn. And if you missed the song, when this show goes off the air and goes into archives, go and listen, because you will swear that you're listening to Linda Ronstadt. This young woman has the voice of an absolute angel, and she will go places, I'm going to tell you. We've started into the
when you listen to it, you better have some garter belts on, because she'll blow your socks off.
Yes, she will. We're going to start into the second hour, and I want to get as many of these wonderful songs in as I can. So let's go ahead and play music, and then music and friends, and then I want you to tell me about this song and why you wrote it, okay?
Okay.
So hold on, and we'll play this one.
All right.
My life little bit crazy. Might say it's kind of dumb. Once I had loved my life, now it's gone. But now I realize where I belong. And I thank God that I've got you, babe. Well, I'm sitting here with some friends in my favorite little restaurant. And I tell you the way I feel right now, there's nothing else that I could want. I guess there'll be love in my life someday. I guess I'll just keep on doing things my way. And I thank God I've got my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Music and Friends by my friend Kenny Wilson. Kenny, tell me about that song.
Well, I wrote that song. I guess it was. It's funny. I get to use this term. It's done got so far into the century. I could say back at the first of the century. so I wrote this song back at the first of the century. I don't know. Maybe 2001. Might have been 2000. Me and a dear friend of mine, Steve Tank Turner. He's a keyboard player and excellent. He's singing at the church now, and he's got some stuff online you need to go listen to. He plays on Sundays at the church, and he's got some videos from that, and he's just amazing. But anyway, me and him were doing that thing, Turner and Wilson, and I was trying to get some songs wrote so we could, have some of our own songs to do. And I just sat down and wrote that one, and it, like all of them, except for Mother Nature, it seemed to always stall out somewhere, And that last verse, I was having trouble getting a third verse for it, and I knew it needed one, And I was sitting at a place, I'm going to give them a plug, a place in Carrollton called the Lazy Donkey Mexican restaurant, and I was with a friend of mine who was one of the best drummers anywhere around here. And I was with him and his wife. and we were sitting in the back room patio of that restaurant, drinking sangria, and had one of the best steaks I've ever had. They had some great steaks, and I was just feeling so good. I kind of started that verse, sitting there, and went home and finished it, sitting here with some friends and all. And so, that's how I finished it. But I don't know. It's hard for me to say how I write things. I guess that's why I don't write a whole lot. Because I just do.
Well, I think you do know how. The inspiration comes from whatever your environment you're in at the time.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I do. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I'll write something or get something halfway written, and I'll just get sick of it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like it.
I do.
If I don't like it, I can't expect anybody else to like it. So there's been, I don't know, hundreds of songs probably that's passed through my head that went on through. If you know what I mean.
What happens is we get so bogged down in the trenches of trying to put our craft together that we get frustrated with it. That happens when I write. I want to walk away from it because I get so aggravated with it. But sometimes we have to walk away from it to get a clearer vision of where it needs to go. And if we listen to that little voice in our head, it will come if we just stop and pay attention. Sometimes we want to do it our way, but the voices say, no, we're going to do it this way. And if we listen to them, they'll make it happen. Yeah,
that's true. Well, that's like, that song and the one I told you, okay, that took me maybe months or a year later to finish. Okay, I finished the last verse. I did the last verse. The second, there's only 2 verses. But I did the second verse when me and Lauren, my buddy Lauren, who plays guitar, he played guitar in the Goat Farm Bandits, and he's pretty much the technician. He's the one that does all the sound, and he actually owned all the PA equipment. And he's helped me out a bunch with this right here, with all these recordings and everything. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to be on them. He was going to be one of the ones that played live, and I didn't get time to get to him to get his tracks recorded. So I had to kind of do them myself. That's why some of them suffered. They weren't quite as good as if he would have done them. But anyway, we had gone to Panama City. We all decided we wanted to go play in Panama City, just to go and be on the beach. Maybe figured we'd get paid enough to, pay for most of it and have a little vacation while we were at it, So we went off down there, putting out some little CDs we had made live at a party, and we were sitting on the beach, and actually I need to give him a co-write on that song, okay, because he kind of, we sat out there and he helped me write that second verse, and actually the final arrangement. So it's more of a Wilson and Rourke song than it is a Wilson song. But that's about the way that happened.
Well, let's go to the next one. Let's go to The Wait and listen to it, because this song is very interesting within its own right, and then you tell me about this song after we play it. Hold on.
Okay.
and the devil, they were I can't go, but my friends can stick around. Take a load off Benny. Take a load for free. Take a load off Benny. Hey, put the load right on me. Gonna catch the cannonball, gonna take it down the line. My spirit is sinking low, and I do believe it's time to get back to Miss Annie. You know she's the only one who sends me here with her regards for everyone. Take a load off Annie. Take a load for free. Take a load off Benny. Hey, put the load right on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was The Wait by Kenny Wilson. All right, Kenny, tell me about this one.
Okay, first I want to say, do you have two versions of that?
I do. That's
Okay,
that was the version that I pulled down off of, I think, was it Spreaker or
Spreaker.
SoundCloud? One of them. Yeah, one of them.
Okay. The other one was a version with my daughter and Ashley singing.
Uh-huh.
But that's fine. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it out anyway, so everybody will
Well,
hear it.
what we're going to do, I'm going to bring you back after the first of the year, and I will play that one with your daughter Ashley on it.
Okay. Yeah,
You're
that
coming
will
back.
both of it, but yeah, that'll work. That's fine. I just noticed it was all me, and also it didn't have a bass guitar on it. I put it on Spreaker for a little while, and I actually took it off, and I think I don't know if I put the new one on yet or not, but I will tonight.
Okay,
But,
because
anyway, that was another song done with Amplitude. You know, recording one track at a time with a loop drummer. And I've always done that song. I've done it since I don't know, since it first heard it, I guess. If I hear something like it, I usually went home and started trying to learn it. Sometimes it might be years later before I felt like I could play it good enough or was comfortable enough to actually play it, for anybody. But that song's always been a fallback of mine since I've been playing out, About every band I've ever played in, we've worked a version of it.
That song's been around since, the middle 60s, maybe?
Yeah. I guess the first version I heard was either the band or the Staple Singers. Or maybe it was both of them together when I heard it. But they've got a version of it on that video I was talking about, The Last Waltz.
Yeah.
With the Staple Singers and all on it. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
Well, what I'm
anyway,
going to do, you're going to have more music coming out after the first of the year. So I'm going to bring you back with your new music, and then we'll play The Wait with the second version you did.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Let's go to Big Yellow Moon, because this was another one. When I listened to it this afternoon, I could just see the song dancing around in my head. And then I want you to tell me about this one, too.
Okay.
the big yellow moon climbs over the horizon, and it shines through the darkness like your mother's love. Well, it's so plain to see, it sure ain't no mystery to me. We're all part of the earth and the sea and the sky above. Well, I know we don't have all the answers, but the ones with the money and the power are the key. If we keep on living our lives with our souls in our pockets, there won't be no earth, won't be no sea. Sun rises high, way up in a big bluebird sky, and it shines on the wonders we live in all our lives. Well, it's so plain to see, it just ain't no mystery to me. We got to make sure that our love survives. Well, I know we don't have all the answers, but the ones with the money and the power are the key. If we keep on living our lives with our souls in our pockets, there won't be no earth, won't be no sea. There won't be no earth or no sea. The big yellow moon climbs over the horizon, and it shines through the darkness like your mother's love. Well, it's so plain to see, it just ain't no mystery to me. We're all part of the earth and the sea and the sky above. Well, I know we don't have all the answers, but the people with the money and the power are the key. If we keep on living our lives with our souls in our pockets, there won't be no earth, won't be no sea. There won't be no earth or no sea. There won't be no earth or no sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Big Yellow Moon by my guest, Kenny Wilson. Okay, tell me about that one, Kenny. Hello? Kenny, you with me? Hello?
Hey,
Hey.
I couldn't help it. I got my iPad here too. I'm talking to you on my phone. I got my iPad and I put my headphones into my iPad so I could listen to the song. And it ended on me before I knew it.
Oh, I thought I lost
got back
you.
over to you. Yeah,
that happens from time to time. I go, yes, my guest got mad and left. Tell me about this song.
Yeah. Well, it was another one I wrote. I guess when the Goat Farm Bandits was going on, I think I wrote it during that time, and it was another one that just came to me. And you can tell what it's about. That's pretty much how I feel about things, and I don't know that chorus. What I'm trying to say is there's folks out there that can fix this mess, and they've got all the money and they've got all the power, and it's going to be them that's going to have to do it.
That's true.
It's going to be the billionaires or whatever, the people that actually own everything. Because the rest of the politicians and stuff are just puppets. We know that. That's pretty much what that song is. So I mean, everybody knows we all came from the same place. I mean, it's the earth. And if we use up the earth, we're using ourselves up.
That's true.
Up mankind.
We have nothing left. We have nowhere to go.
God put us on the earth to take care of the earth. I know that. I mean, that's, he has the earth to sustain us, and we're supposed to sustain the earth.
And sadly, we don't.
Bottom line. No, we don't, because of our lifestyle, what it's turned into. It's done gone so far down the road. I mean, how do you change it now? You can't change it. You just have to alter it.
It will take generations to change it.
Yeah, it's going to have to be altered to where it works better, because we can't keep using up as fast as we do. I mean, we're sucking water out of the ground. We're sucking oil out of the ground, using up. I mean, that stuff, none of it is replenished. The same water molecules that were on the earth at the beginning are still on the earth now, and there's nothing being made. It's just being filtered back through the earth.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's the bottom line to me. Let's play another one.
All right. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to save On Your Way Down, because I'm going to bring you back after the first of the year, and we'll play On Your Way Down and the one with your granddaughter in it, and your new music. Let's go ahead and play OK, because I don't want to run out of time before we play this song, because this is an important song for you.
Yeah, it's one of mine.
All right, let's play it. Hold on.
Okay. Why did it take so long to discover?
gentlemen, that was "Okay" by Kenny Wilson. Now we've danced around this song for the time we've been on the air. Let's talk about this song. Tell us about "Okay."
Well, I'm trying to remember again, it was in the early part of the century when I wrote this song, and I was divorced. We were divorced in '99, and it was around that time. So it was of the moment. The first verse is just of that moment. The other one is kind of timeless because it was another one that I wrote. What I told you about that. It was almost a year later before I wrote that last verse about the ocean, and you can tell we were in Panama City when I wrote that. So that's pretty much how that went. And it was just another one that came to me and took a little while to finish. Some of them they come and they come all the way, and some of them come and stall, and you have to wait a while.
I understand that. Let me ask you something.
That was that.
Let me ask you something. What artists have influenced you over the years, and how did they influence you in your songwriting and in your performing and just in your craft in general?
Well, there's no way I could just say one artist, but I can pick a few people that I went for years without hardly listening to anybody else. There were 3 different bands and, acts. One of them was Jackson Browne. I am a total Jackson Browne fan. I love Jackson Browne. I've tried to learn all his stuff, and I've pretty much done a version of most of his songs, not all of them. Some of them I just can't do. It's just too complicated to do, by myself, Jackson Browne and Little Feat. The singing of Lowell George, that's where I got that song On Your Way Down. That's where I got it from. I sang along with Lowell George and Jackson Browne for years, and also there was a spell there where I was just totally into Dave Mason. And those influenced me as far as, my singing and stuff like that. And then, you can go all the way back as far as influences. I got to thinking about it one day. I think it was when you were talking to Royce on that show. Royce Shook, who was also in Evolution with us when we were kids. And I think he might have been the one that got us all together. But anyway, you were asking him who his first, I think you put it in the term, who your first influence was. And I got to thinking about the first song that I ever sang along with, and it was Popeye the Sailor Man.
Wow. That does go way back.
Yeah. So, 3 or 4 years old, and you hear a song and start singing, that's the first song you sing. That's the first one I remember singing to. And I actually had to look that up just so I would know who actually wrote that song. And it was a man named Sammy Lerner. And he also wrote a bunch of Ziegfeld Follies stuff.
Right.
And they've always had folks that just could write songs at the drop of a hat, in show business, Hollywood, Ziegfeld, Broadway stuff, all that, And this guy, he just wrote a bunch of songs. And like I said, his name was Sammy Lerner, and he wrote a song called, I'm going to see if you can guess what cartoon it came from. I know you can. A song called Don't Take My Boo-Oop a Doop Away. Don't take my Boo-Oop a Doop away. Betty Boop.
Boy, that goes way back.
Yeah. Well, that's where I started. That's when I started, tuning my voice in. That's the first thing I broke out in song on. So you got to call that an influence,
Yeah, well, actually, we were influenced because when you think about it, when we were growing up, television had just come into its own.
Yep.
And,
I just thought about it. I don't know why I just skipped by that whole era. The actual ones that got me singing like I was supposed to sing was probably the Beatles. And
why?
then later on, those three guys that came over from the 7-Eleven, they influenced me a bunch. I mean, just a short period that I was playing with them because they let me sing backups with them. They showed me parts and stuff, That was some great training for me.
Yeah, it was.
Training. I wish I could have kept up with those guys. But we kind of parted our ways, and we ran into them. Me and Bobby ran into one of the guys somewhere, and he said that lead singer, Tony Taylor, had died in a car wreck. So that felt bad, But anyway, we'll play another song.
Well, all right, we've got time to play that, the one On the Way Down, so we'll play that one, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of more questions I always ask my guests, so hold on.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was On Your Way Down by my guest, Kenny Wilson. Okay, Kenny, tell us about this one.
Okay, that's one I got off of Little Pete Dixie Chicken. Lowell George singing it. I don't know. I just fell in love with Lowell George's voice and his style of playing. You know, he played slide guitar. I just had to do that song, and I've been doing different versions of it. You know, and I can't do it the way they do it. I can't do nothing the way anybody does it. So I just do it the best way I can, and that's what happened.
Well,
with
you
that.
You have your own style.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
You have your own style.
That was one of the two first songs I did on that Amplitude thing where I played all the parts and sung all the backups and just used the drum track. What I planned on doing with that was recording a bunch of my songs and scratch tracks and then taking them around to some of my old friends and having different musician friends put tracks on for me, you know. Replace that drum track with real drummers and stuff like that. But, you know, I hadn't got around to doing it yet. I had a spout with that ear thing, trying to get my ear cleared up. I finally gave up on that and decided I'm just going to have to go back at it with one ear. So that's what I've been doing.
Well, let me ask you this. With all of the music that we've played tonight, tell people where they can find your music, where they can hook up with you, and, you know, keep up with what you're doing.
Okay. Well, I'm just now getting into this internet thing. I don't really know how to, you know, share my music other than, you know, I put some stuff on Facebook, and as you've seen, I'm on Spreaker, and that's pretty much the easiest thing you can get to right now. But I'm gonna find out. I'm probably gonna have to ask you to help me.
I can do that.
Put some of these things on some of these other sites, because some of the sites I've never even heard of, you know. But I'd like to put some stuff on YouTube and, you know, SoundCloud and all that stuff, you know. It'll be real soon, but right now you can get it off of Spreaker.
And ladies and gentlemen, go ahead.
If you want to, just send me a PM with your email, and I'll email it to you. I've done that with a bunch of folks. I don't care.
And ladies and gentlemen, please support Kenny, because, again, this is what we do. We are independents. We don't have managers. We don't have business agents. We don't have personal assistants. We do this on our own. And this man has been around for a very, very, very long time. And it's like he says, he's just now getting into the 21st century, but his music is timeless. So hook up with him on Facebook. Hook up with him on Spreaker. We'll get him up on it. This show will be up on YouTube, by the way, Kenny. We'll get his music up on YouTube. This show will be on YouTube. It will also be on iTunes. So you're going to get a whole lot of exposure that you didn't know you were going to get. but I will also help you get your music up so you can start making a little bit of money off of it, because between you and your granddaughter, there's no reason for y'all
nice.
not to make a little bit of money. Let me ask you this.
Always good.
Yes, it is. It is. If as we get near the end of the show, I always ask my guests this question, because there are people out there that have dreams, and they want to make those dreams real, but for whatever reason, they don't, whether it's they think life gets in the way, or maybe it's too hard, or they're not good enough, or nobody will pay attention to them, or for whatever
maybe
reason.
Somebody's working too many hours.
Well, that too. But for whatever reason, that dream doesn't gel. And then at the end of their days, it's like you and I talked about earlier, at the end of their days, it's too late.
Yeah.
So
you can't get it back.
Exactly. And we can't get back yesterday because it's already gone. So what would be your advice for someone with a dream that wants to make that dream real?
Well, you got to practice your instrument, your voice, your writing, whatever. You got to practice it. You got to do it. You got to practice all the time if you want to be that good. And then you've got to do the work. You've got to do the footwork. You've got to do whatever you need to do to get things out there. Record, send it out, play places. That's all you can do. I mean, hope you get discovered, if you're good enough.
What if somebody has this dream and they go up to, say, their best friend, and the best friend says, "Oh, you'll never make that happen. You're not good enough." Should they listen to them?
Get another opinion. Just like if you don't agree with what the doctor says, go get another opinion. I mean, if you believe in yourself, it don't matter. Just do it. Because there's a lot of people out there that was probably told that they weren't worth a toot. Because some of them weren't.
Well, that's true. Some of them weren't. But that being said, don't you agree that if they don't at least try, that they failed?
Oh, yeah. It's that old cliche, can't, never could, won't, never will. So, you got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to put in the work. The folks I know that have made it, they didn't just, happen to make it. They worked on it. They worked on it hard.
And they worked on it when, yes, you can. What do you mean?
Let me say something. I want to thank my friend Lauren Rourke and my other friend. I call them my life brothers. They're my musician friends and life friends and whatever. Lauren Rourke and Darren Brown for helping me so much through everything, with everything. Anything I need, I can call on them, and of course they can call on me. They're just great friends. I just wanted to give them a shout out. Darren played bass on what was that song? I keep getting the name of that song. Any day, I Shall Be Released. He played bass on it. He played bass on Big Yellow Moon, and he played bass on Music and Friends. And I just wanted to thank them for that. And I also want to say something about my son, Paul. He passed away in 2014, April the 29th, and he was always a big help to me, especially after he got grown. He was a musician. He was a DJ. He called himself DJ Apple Paul.
Yeah.
I have missed him so much. Just not from the fact that, of course, from the fact that he was my son and I loved him dearly, but also the help he gave me, with my music and getting to help him with his. But hey, I just had to say all that before we run out of time.
Well, the thing is, Kenny, those are memories you will always have with your son, and sometimes those will sustain you when nothing else will, because what happened is the memories that you built with your father, you got to build with your son. So it was a generational thing.
Yeah, I was dearly blessed. I hope to be with Paul again one day. Well, I expect to be with Paul again one day playing in God's band, just like he is now.
Won't that be a magnificent time?
Oh, yeah. That's what we're all working towards, is glory in what we do.
That is very, very true. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Off the Chain. I have been your host, Yvonne Mason. My guest tonight has been Kenny Wilson, and tomorrow night, my guest will be on the 8 o'clock hour, will be a young woman, actually a beautiful young woman named Chris Maraki Bowles, and this will be a different kind of show. Her husband sadly died from breast cancer, and she wanted to share that experience with the audience and to educate the audience that while it is not something that happens every day, men do get breast cancer, and most of them ignore it until it's too late. So join us for that. At the 9 o'clock hour, I will have author Kim Carmichael as my guest. So we're going to have 2 hours tomorrow night of rip-roaring, off-the-chain fun. Kenny, do you have any parting words before we count down for the end of the show?
No, I just want to thank you for doing this. It's been a mixed blessing because it's got my daughter and granddaughter singing with me, and that's going to go. That's going to keep going. We're going to keep that going. And I just want to thank everybody that's always helped me, and say hey to all my friends out there that I dearly love. And I hope everybody enjoyed this.
Well, I know I have, and what I'm going to do when we get off of this show, I'm going to set up a date to bring you back next year, and I expect a whole slew of new recordings with you, your daughter, and the granddaughter.
Oh, yeah, that'll give us plenty of time. We'll do.
So I've
got some more originals I've got to get recorded, too.
So see, ladies,
right now is what I'm building towards, getting some good recordings of my songs, and like Darren said, the bass player, there's a bunch of covers that I do that he likes real well, and he's wanting to record some of those, pretty much get a professional recording of them sooner or later.
So, see, ladies and gentlemen, what we've got to look forward to next year is this is now a family affair. It continues to be a family affair. This is what dreams are all about. This is how we make memories. This is how we improve our craft, and this is how we make our dream real. We incorporate like minds. So when I bring Kenny back, we're going to hear a whole slew of new work by him, written by him, performed by him, his lovely daughter, and his lovely granddaughter. And remember, check Kenny out on Spreaker under Kenny Wilson, because you can hear every song that we played tonight, plus one we didn't play called The Thrill Is Gone, which is probably as old as we are. And support Kenny, encourage Kenny. And if you've got a dream, live that dream. Do you agree with me on all this, Kenny?
Oh, yeah. Yep. You got to live it. I mean, the ones that make it, they didn't just do it part-time, like I do. Back when I was younger, my dream was, I never really ever thought that I would be a star or anything. I never expected that, but I always knew that if in the right situation, I could make a living in music, which I never did do, but I could have done that. That was pretty much my dream. But, whatever your dream is, you got to fight for it.
Because nobody else will. That's your dream. It's not their dream.
Well, yeah. Unless you get them involved in your dream.
Well, that's true. But if you don't believe in yourself first, and as artists, sometimes we don't believe in ourselves. We have those moments of insecurity, but we just have to put on our big girl or boy panties and kick ourselves in the butt and move on. But you got to believe. If nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to have that hardcore belief that your dream is important to you, and it's important enough to do whatever it takes to make it real. I didn't publish my first book until I was in my 50s, but I'd been writing since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I became a bounty hunter in my 50s. I've been wanting to do that since I was a little girl. My radio shows a 5-year dream. So you can make these dreams real. Yeah, sometimes it takes 50 years.
Yeah.
But you can do it. It's not
just
impossible.
don't give up.
Don't give up.
I say this a lot, especially about singing. If somebody wants to sing, the biggest thing is don't be scared. Because I ain't scared. I'll sing anywhere. I'll start singing at the top of the hat. People used to talk about it, at work. When I worked in a boiler out at Yellow Dirt power plant Wansley, Georgia Power Plant. I worked in a boiler out there, and there's some of the best acoustics you ever heard. And there's
I bet.
Bunches of different places. It's a huge, huge boiler. It's what they call a supercritical boiler. And anywhere I went, I've had to test the acoustics. I'd be in there singing, and people could hear it, all in different other parts of the boiler. But they finally got to know me as, the one that was doing all the singing. It was pretty funny. That's how I get used to singing. I'll sing going down the road. People look at me like I'm crazy, and I just keep on singing and smile. But as long as nobody tells me to shut up, I'm bothering them. I'm gonna keep singing.
Well, even if they told you to shut up, I know you. You'd probably say, "Forget this. I'm singing anyway."
Yeah, or I just move over and sing somewhere else. If you ain't appreciated where you are, you need to be somewhere else, I guess.
Exactly. Just move on. Well, I want to thank my audience for listening. I want to thank the support of the people that support me, Paige Roberts and Andrea Dean Van Scoyoc, my publisher, Addressing Your Book with Kelly J. Coate. And I want to give a shout-out to Linda Marley Ricketts. And you will know why next Tuesday, because she will be the guest on my show when I do the release party for Justice for Cindy. Without her, that book would never have been made real. She's the engineer on the train that drives this book.
I heard that.
Ladies, I'm telling you, we all got to have one.
I want to thank all those people for helping you help everybody else. Because you're
thank
doing a great
you,
job.
Well, and I am honored. I am honored, and I am humbled, and I appreciate so much that you agreed to do this show with me. It's a blessing to be able to reconnect with you after all these years.
Yeah. Well, it was very timely in my life right now, so he gave me something to work on, get my family together and my two musician friends together behind me to help me, and that kind of spurred that on. So it's been mixed blessings.
There you go. See, ladies and gentlemen, things happen for a reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say good evening. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your support. Remember, the show does go in archive. Share this show. And remember, tomorrow night, join me, your host, Yvonne Mason, for Off the Chain for another 2 hours of who knows what. Until then, we say good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ashlyn said
Thank
bye.
you, Ashlyn. Hold on, Kenny. Just a second.
All right. Tell me if you can still hear us talking. Did you hear me? You still there, Yvonne?
Yes. What happens is the show counts down, and then it goes off, and anything we say now will show up in archives.
Okay.
So what did you say?
Hey, archives. No, I just noticed that, I think when you were doing Chris, was his name Chris Tucker?
Uh-huh.
It kept running after y'all thought it was off, and y'all were still talking about, stuff and all.
Yeah, what happens is anything we say now, anybody that listens to the show when it goes into archives, it will play this part of the show, which makes it nice because it's like an after party.
Yeah, as long as we don't say nothing mean.
But what I'm going to do
I try not to ever say anything mean.
What I'm going to do is get off her here and thank you again, my friend, for doing this show with me. And I'm going to get this show downloaded, and I will, every time I download it to or upload it to one of the podcasts, I'm going to tag you in it. And I want you to use this show to promote your work.
Okay. I appreciate it.
All right, my dear?
Sure do.
And
Love you.
give me... You're welcome. Thank you, and give Miss Ashlyn a great big hug for me, and I'll get you set up for a show next year. I'll send you the date, and then you can start working towards some music for me.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense, like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to Geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift receipt.
When I listen to Audible, I'm not riding the L train during rush hour. I'm hunting whales with the crew of the Pequod. I can feel the cold air in my face and the icy spray of the Atlantic crashing against the bow. The smell of rotting blubber fills my nostrils. There she blows, boys! Dead ahead! It's the White Whale! This is my stop. Excuse me. Pardon me. Sorry.
Go to audible.com/start trial and your first download is free. Audible. Stories that surround you.